Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. My name is Tanushree and today I'm starting a new series with you which is called Agriculture through MCQs. So as we all know, CCI has recently released its notification for vacancies at various posts and agriculture forms a very crucial part of the syllabus. So for all the CCI aspirants, we have launched this series wherein we are going to cover the syllabus through MCQs, right? So we are going to have detailed discussion on each and every question which we are going to cover in this series, all right? And apart from the CCI aspirants, this series will also be helpful for those who are preparing for NABARD and AFO exams and who have completed their agriculture syllabus, ARD syllabus, and who are now seeking for certain revision related initiatives. Okay, so let's get started. So for today's class, the topic is Introduction to Agriculture. Okay, so the first question that we have for you is that headquarters of National Horticulture Board are located at which of the following places? At which of the following place, right? So before I tell you the answer, kindly pause the video and think of the answer and then I'll reveal you this answer. Since this is not a live class and a recorded class, so I'm going to reveal this to you after just 1 or 2 seconds only. Alright, so just pause the video and think of the answer first. So the answer for this question is option number A, which says Haryana, Gurugram. Just wait for a second. So the answer for this question is option number A, Haryana. Gurugram, Haryana. Alright, so before we move ahead to the next question, it becomes crucial here to know what actually horticulture is and what are the functions of the National Horticulture Board. So horticulture is a branch of agriculture which deals with the production, processing, right, of fruits, vegetables, ornamental plants, spices, right? So all these categories, they are covered under the horticulture, right? And moving ahead, if we have to look at the functions of the National Horticulture Board, so the major function of the National Horticulture Board is to ensure that the horticulture industry in India, it grows at a very fast pace to ensure integrated development of the horticulture industry in India. So that is the major function of National Horticulture Board, right? Now let's move ahead to the next question. So the next question says that where was the first agriculture university in India? The GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology established. Okay, so for this question, the correct answer is Pantnagar, Uttarakhand. Alright, so the first agriculture university of India, it was established at Pantnagar, Uttarakhand in the year 1960. Alright, let's move ahead to the next question now. Okay, so the next question says, and this is a very interesting question, which one of the following was established in the year 1974 on the recommendation of Mohan Singh Mehta Committee to serve as the Knowledge and Resource Center? Okay, so this is the question. Think of it, and it is a very interesting question. So the answer here is Krishi Vigyan Kendra. All right. Now, as far as the Krishi Vigyan Kendra is concerned, you have to understand one thing, that Krishi Vigyan Kendra, it is a part of extension services. Now, you might ask, what is meant by the term extension service? See students, there are farmers who are working in the field and then there are agriculture scientists, agriculture researchers who are working in the universities, right? And there exists a knowledge gap between these two stakeholders in agriculture, all right? Because technology in agriculture, it is upgrading, it is updating on a day-to-day or you can say on a year-on-year basis. Now, the question arises, how will this updated or upgraded technology will reach the farmers, right? So the answer for this question is the extension service. Extension service is basically a part of informal education, you can say, or an education which is not a part of the formal education system, which is given outside the education system. Herein we try to bridge the gap between the knowledge of agriculture which exists in the universities, in the research institutions, and the knowledge which exists with the farmer in the field, right? So whatever new technology have been developed in the university, it reaches the farmers through the extension services, right? So these are this is the definition of extension services. This is what we meant by the extension service. Now, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, it is a kind of extension service. If we look ahead about this in a detailed manner, so Krishi Vigyan Kendras, they were first established in 1974 at Puducherry, right? And they were established on the recommendation of Mohan Singh Mehta Committee, right? Now their main function is technology assessment, demonstration of its application, and capacity development. Now what does this mean? See student, whatever technology have been developed by the research institutions, first of all, it has to be assessed whether it is applicable to a particular area, to a particular problem or not, right? After the successful completion of this assessment, further this technology will be demonstrated to the farmers in their fields. This is the technology, this is how it works, these are the benefits which you are going to reap out of this technology. So these are the functions which Krishi Vigyan Kendra have to do. Right now, apart from the Krishi Vigyan Kendra, there were certain other options which we also have to look, because in this series, through the answers and also through the options, we are going to cover as many topics as we can. Okay, so the first option here says ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture and Research, right? Indian Council of Agriculture Research. So this council, it was first established in the year 1929, and it is basically an autonomous body, right? And it is responsible for coordinating agriculture, education and research in India, right? So whatever agriculture in research which happens in India at different locations, to coordinate that education, right? It is the main function of the ICAR. After ICAR, we have National Agriculture Research Project. Now this National Agriculture Research Project, this was also launched by the ICAR only in the year 1979 with the assistance of World Bank. Now in this National Agriculture Research Project, what we do is that we look at location specific and problem specific solution, because understand that India is a vast country. We have different locations. Like for certain areas, there this coastal ecosystem. In other, we have arid areas. Somewhere we have this hilly terrain, hilly regions, right? So the terrain, the geography of each and every part of our country, it is different. And the problems associated with these regions are also different. Somewhere water is the problem, somewhere weather is the problem, somewhere soil nutrition is the problem. So the problems are also different, right? Now, it is not possible for India to have a one size fit all approach as far as the technology in agriculture is concerned. So we need location specific and problem specific solution, and that is where the National Agriculture Research Projects comes in picture. All right. Then we have the last option, agri clinics and agri business centers. Now, what is the function of agri clinics and agri business centers? These are also a part of the extension service. Herein, experts are there who provide the farmers with very specific solutions to their specific problems. For example, which crop to produce, whether the soil nutrition is all right or not, what are the clinical technologies for the animals, what should be the feed and fodder for the animals, right? And agri-business centers, if we talk about, these are kind of ventures, you can say business ventures, which provide services such as custom hiring centers, sale of inputs, right? So all these services, these are provided by the agribusiness centers. Now you might ask, what is meant by the term custom hiring center? See students, India is a country which have very fragmented lands, right? Farmers, very few farmers, they have a high proportion of land, you can say. Otherwise, the farmers, they are small farmers because they have very fragmented lands, right? Because of the inheritance system that we have in our country, generation by generation, the land, it keeps on getting fragmented. Now, with such a fragmented land, it becomes really difficult to have economies of scale as far as inputs are concerned, right? So the farmer, he will not reap as much benefit out of that land if he go and purchase a machine for himself, right? Because these agriculture machinery, the tractors, the threshers, right? So these are very expensive machinery. Each farmer, for such a small piece of land, it will not be economical for him to purchase such a machine. Now here comes in picture the custom hiring center. The custom hiring center people, what they do, they have these machines, right? They must have invested in the capital to purchase these machines, and whenever the farmer needs these machines, because again these machines are not required on a day-to-day basis, their requirements are also seasonal in nature. So whenever they require these machines, they will take help of the custom hiring centers. All right. So that was about the agri clinics and agri business centers, and I hope with this all these concepts are clear to you. Now let's move to the next question. It says that who among the following is known as the father of agronomy? All right. So the answer for this question is option number A, Peter de Crescenzi. All right. So he is known as the father of agronomy. Now the question arises, what is meant by the term agronomy? Agronomy, students, is basically that part of the agriculture, or you can say it is that component of the agriculture which deals with the production of various crops, whether it is a fodder crop, whether it is a food crop, right? So and production of the fodder crop, or you can say any crop, it does not mean that simply the production. Here the farmer also have to manage the soil, the farmer has to manage the plant health, the farmer has to manage the water level, the farmer has to manage the environment conditions, right? So all these aspects, they are dealt with in the field of agronomy, right? Now, this is what we have read about the agronomy, and we have also seen who is the father of agronomy. But the other persons whose name have been written here, they also belong to certain specific fields, and that also we have to see. Okay, for example, F. Nicholson, he is the father of cooperative movement in India. Cooperative movement in India. Then we have Dr. N.E. Borlaug. Dr. N.E. Borlaug, he is the father of Green Revolution, not in India, but Green Revolution overall. Now, I hope and I request you to please comment and tell me who is the father of Green Revolution in India. Then we have Gregor John Mendel. Gregor John Mendel, he is the father of genetics. All right. Let's move ahead. So here the information about all the other persons, and they are associated with which of the fields that has been provided to you. Now let's move ahead. The next question says this, that All India Coordinated Research Project on cotton is located at which of the following places? See students, in exams certain time you can get very tricky questions. For example, here the locations which I have used in options: Mumbai, Ahmedabad, right? Coimbatore. So all these are the places which are associated with the cotton production and cotton processing in one or the other way. So please make sure that whenever such question comes in exam, like just try to, intelligent guessing is a good thing, but try to be as sure as you can before marking the question, right? Before marking the option. So here in this question, the correct answer is option number C, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. All right. Is it not working? Yeah. So Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu is the answer. Let's move to the next question. It says that National Bureau of Plant Genetics Resources is located at which of the following places? So the correct answer here is option number B, New Delhi. In today's lecture, you are coming across a lot of place-related questions. Which institution is associated with which activity and they are located at which place? We have purposely done so because these questions, they are fairly important if we look at the past year paper and their trends. All right. So that is why we have included a good number of questions which are related to the institutions and their locations and what the work they do. All right. Now, the next question that we have is, which branch of agriculture deals with all aspects of wine and wine making? So the options are viticulture, olericulture, pomology and oenology. The correct answer here is option number D, oenology. Now, from the question itself we have understood that when it comes to wine and wine making, it is the oenology we are talking about. But what about these other three options, right, which have been written here? So as far these other options are concerned, olericulture, it deals with the production and marketing of vegetables. So olericulture, it is associated with the vegetables. Then we have pomology. Pomology is associated with fruits, right? Then we have viticulture. Viticulture is associated with the production and marketing of the grapes. All right. And now let's move to the next question, which says that the branch of agriculture that deals with the production of large scale cultivation of perennial trees. Here, two things are important: large scale cultivation and perennial trees. Now, why these are important, I'll be telling to you in just a few seconds. Okay. So the correct answer here is option number B, silviculture, right? Now, as far as other options are concerned, first of all, we have pisciculture. Pisciculture, it is associated with the fishes, right? Harvesting, breeding, processing, right? So, processing of fishes. So, this is this branch which deals with the fishes is known as pisciculture. After pisciculture, sorry, I have the next option which says silviculture, and silviculture, it deals with the large scale production, right, of perennial trees. Then the next question is the landscape horticulture. Now, what is landscape horticulture? If you have ever visited places like Chandigarh or that Luton's Delhi, so there you must have seen that every path, as you can say, or every road, it is very well maintained. It looks very aesthetic to the eyes. Now, it does not happen naturally. It has been done, right? The kind of plants, the kind of flowers, the kind of trees which are growing there, all of this, they have been planned, and then it has been done to beautify that landscape, to enhance the aesthetic appeal of that landscape, right? So all these things, they come under the branch of landscape horticulture. The next option that we have is arboriculture. In arboriculture, see the difference between silviculture and arboriculture. This is precisely the difference which we meant by the term large scale cultivation, because in silviculture we are dealing with a lot of trees together, a lot of tree species together. But as far as arboriculture is concerned, here our main attention is on individual trees. All right. So if we look here, so see, arboriculture, it is the study of selection, planting, care, removal of individual trees. So we are giving our entire attention, right, to each tree, to each single tree. So it is kind of micromanagement of each and every individual tree. Whereas as far as silviculture is concerned, it is the large scale cultivation of the perennial trees. All right. So that is the difference between silviculture and arboriculture. Now let's move ahead to the next question. Okay, before moving to the next question, we have attached these pictures also, as you can see. See, this is the picture of landscape horticulture. So as you can see, these plants, these flowers, they all have been planted in such a way so as to enhance the beauty of this landscape, to enhance the beauty of this particular place, right? Now, as you can see in this picture, this one person, like he is giving his entire attention to this plant, right? So what is the plant height? What is the diameter of the plant, right? So every single thing, is there any disease or not, is the plant like the structure of the plant, the frame of the plant is all right or not. So every such thing, it is dealt with in the arboriculture. All right, now let's move ahead to the next question. It says that the National Farmers Day or Kisan Divas is celebrated to mark the birth anniversary of which famous personality? So the correct answer here is option number A, Chaudhary Charan Singh. Chaudhary Charan Singh, he was a freedom fighter, he was a politician, right? And on 23rd December, right? So here I am writing the date. On 23rd December, every year, we celebrate the National Farmers Day to mark the birth anniversary of Chaudhary Charan Singh. Apart from that, there is one more date which you have to remember, which is associated with the birth anniversary of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and that is 3rd of December. Remember, this is 3rd December, and on 3rd December, we celebrate the National Agriculture Education Day, right? So remember these 2 days. All right. So on December 23, we celebrate the National Farmers Day. And on December 3, to mark the birth anniversary of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, we celebrate the National Agriculture Education Day. All right. So now let's move to the next question. So this is the last question for today's class. It says that, like, choose the correct option amongst the given choices. So here we have given all the institutes, and also we have given the places where they are located. You have to see whether it is correct or not, whether the combination given here is correct or not. Okay, and then after looking at this combination, you have to choose one of the following options, whichever is correct. So the correct answer for this question is option number C, only 2, because the ICAR, Central Institute of Cotton Research, it is located at Nagpur, Maharashtra. This is the only option, or this is the only combination which is correct among all these pairs, right? Because if you see the Central Institute of Agriculture Engineering, it is located at Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, and not at Karnal, Haryana. That is why the first option became wrong. Then if you see Central Institute of Cotton Research, it is located at Nagpur, Maharashtra. Oh, sorry. And therefore, this option number 2, it becomes correct. Then at third place, we have National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources, right? So this is located at Karnal, Haryana, and that is the reason why this third option also became wrong. And then the last one we have is Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation. This is this institute, it is located at Dehradun, Uttarakhand, and that is why the fourth option also became wrong. So herein in this question, only the pair 2, it was marked correctly, and therefore the answer will be option number C, only 2. All right. So with this, we have completed as many MCQs and as many concepts which we could complete for the chapter Introduction to Agriculture. Now for you, I have 3 homework questions as well. Please try doing it on your own, and comment their answers below in the comment section. And we are going to discuss those 3 questions as well in the upcoming class. All right. So the first homework question for you is, where is the Indian Veterinary Research Institute located? And here are the options for you, right? A, Karnal, Haryana; B, Izatnagar, Uttar Pradesh; C, Ajmer, Rajasthan; or D, Patiala, Punjab. Then question number 2, silver revolution is associated with which of the following? Is it associated with cotton, or egg or poultry production, or fertilizer production, or garlic production? So you have to tell with which of these following silver revolution is associated. Then the next question that we have is, ICAR, National Institute for Plant Biotechnology, is located at which of the following places? All right. So options that you have are New Delhi, Pune, Maharashtra, Bangalore, and Chennai, Tamil Nadu, right? So you have to answer these questions. So with this, we come to an end of our today's class. Thank you for being there with me. I hope you have learned a lot of things from today's class. Thank you.